Imagine waking up tomorrow knowing it's your final day on Earth. Your heart races, panic sets in. You scramble to call everyone you love, frantically trying to squeeze a lifetime of meaning into 24 hours. Now imagine living every single day with that same intensity and purpose, but without the terror, without the crushing weight of finality. What if I told you that ancient philosophers, modern scientists, and even science fiction writers have already mapped out this exact blueprint for living? Welcome to the art of temporal mindfulness, a philosophy that transforms ordinary moments into extraordinary experiences, backed by neuroscience and refined by centuries of human wisdom. Chapter 2, the time paradox. Here's something that would make Einstein chuckle. We experience time backwards. Your brain processes the present moment approximately 80 milliseconds after it actually happens. You're literally living in the past, neurologically speaking. But ancient Stoics like Marcus Aurelius figured out something remarkable. They discovered that true presence isn't about catching up to the present moment. It's about expanding it. Think of your consciousness like a time-dilating spacecraft from science fiction. As you approach the speed of mindful awareness, each moment stretches, becomes richer, more detailed. Scientists call this temporal perception expansion. The Stoics called it wisdom. When you're fully present, 5 minutes can feel like an hour. Not because time slows down, but because your attention captures exponentially more information. It's like upgrading from standard definition to 4K resolution, but for your entire life experience. Chapter 3, the Death Meditation Protocol. Memento mori. Remember you must die? Sounds morbid, right? Actually, it's the ultimate life hack. Neuroscientist Dr. Richie Davidson discovered that regular meditation on mortality activates the anterior cingulate cortex. That's your brain's priority-setting headquarters. When you truly internalize that your time is finite, your neural networks literally rewire to focus on what matters most. Here's your daily protocol. Every morning, spend 2 minutes imagining this is your final day. Not in a panic-inducing way, but like a scientist observing data. What becomes important? What fades to background noise? The Romans had a ritual. Before every feast, they would contemplate death. Not to be morbid, but to make the wine taste sweeter, the conversation more meaningful, the laughter more genuine. Modern research confirms this. People who regularly practice mortality salience show increased gratitude, stronger relationships, and paradoxically less anxiety about death itself. It's psychological immunization. Chapter 4, the Present Moment Amplifier. Imagine your attention as a quantum field that can be focused into a laser beam of awareness. Every great Stoic philosopher understood this principle. Epictetus called it prosos, continuous attention. Your mind naturally operates in 3 temporal zones: past processing, future projection, and present perception. Most people spend roughly 47% of their waking hours in mental time travel, according to Harvard psychologist Dr. Matthew Killingsworth. But here's where it gets science fiction interesting. When you anchor your consciousness in the present moment, you access what neuroscientists call flow state. Time perception alters, self-consciousness disappears, performance skyrockets. The technique is surprisingly simple. Every hour, perform a temporal reset. Notice 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can touch, 2 things you can smell, 1 thing you can taste. This isn't meditation mumbo-jumbo. It's sensory data processing. You're essentially overclocking your awareness hardware to maximum capacity. Chapter 5, the Urgency Without Emergency System. This is where ancient wisdom meets modern performance science. How do you maintain the intensity of your last day without the cortisol flooding panic response? The answer lies in understanding your autonomic nervous system. Panic triggers fight or flight. Purpose activates what researchers call challenge response. Same physiological arousal, completely different psychological experience. Think of it like this. A race car driver experiences intense physiological activation. Heart rate spikes, adrenaline surges, time perception sharpens. But they're not panicking, they're performing. Your daily practice becomes reframing urgency as opportunity. Instead of "I might die tomorrow," think "I get to live fully today." Subtle linguistic shift, massive neurochemical difference. Navy SEALs use a similar technique. They train to view high-stress situations not as threats, but as chances to demonstrate their capabilities. Your last day mentality becomes your performance enhancement protocol. Chapter 6, The Priority Matrix of Mortality. If you had 24 hours left, would you spend them checking social media? Probably not. Yet the average person spends over 2 hours daily scrolling through digital distractions. Marcus Aurelius developed what I call the mortality filter. Before any activity, ask yourself, is this how I'd spend my final hours? If not, why are you spending your actual life on it? Behavioral economists have discovered something called temporal discounting. We irrationally overvalue immediate small rewards and undervalue future large benefits. But when you adopt a last day perspective, this bias disappears. Create your own priority matrix. High impact, high meaning activities go in quadrant 1. These are your last day worthy choices. Everything else gets systematically eliminated or delegated. It's like conducting a continuous life audit. Not in a judgmental way, but with the curiosity of a scientist studying optimal human performance. Chapter 7, The Connection Acceleration Protocol. On your last day, superficial small talk would feel absurd. You'd want real connection, authentic conversation, meaningful exchange. Psychologist Dr. Arthur Aaron discovered that emotional intimacy can be accelerated through what he calls self-disclosure reciprocity. Deep questions create deep bonds, but most people never ask them. Here's your social experiment. In every conversation today, ask one question that goes beneath the surface, not invasively, but genuinely. What's been surprising you lately? What are you learning about yourself? Watch what happens, people light up, connections deepen, conversations become memorable instead of forgettable. It's like upgrading from dial-up to fiber optic internet, but for human relationships. Same time investment, exponentially richer data transfer. Chapter 8, The Gratitude Amplification Field. If today were your last day, the ordinary would become extraordinary. That morning coffee wouldn't just be caffeine delivery, it would be a sensory symphony of aroma, warmth, and ritual. Neuroscientist Dr. Alex Korb found that gratitude practice literally rewires your brain's reward circuits. Regular appreciation increases dopamine sensitivity, making everyday experiences more pleasurable. But here's the advanced technique. Instead of generic gratitude lists, practice temporal gratitude. Appreciate the specific moment, this particular breath, this exact experience that will never happen again. Right now, as you listen to this, notice something you can be grateful for. The technology that delivered these words to your ears, the linguistic evolution that allows complex idea transfer, the fact that your brain is processing meaning from sound waves. This isn't positive thinking propaganda, it's attention training. You're teaching your consciousness to detect richness in ordinary moments. Chapter 9, The Legacy Creation Engine. On your final day, legacy wouldn't be about grand gestures. It would be about the ripple effects of your daily choices. Every interaction you have creates what complexity scientists call emergent effects. Your kindness to a stranger might influence their decision to help someone else. Your creative work might inspire innovation decades later. Your presence might shift someone's entire worldview. The Stoics understood this. They called it sympathia. the interconnectedness of all things. You're not just living your life, you're contributing to the ongoing human story. Make today's legacy intentional. Create something, help someone, share knowledge, express appreciation, leave the world slightly better than you found it. It doesn't require heroic actions. Sometimes legacy is as simple as really listening when someone speaks, or choosing patience instead of irritation in traffic. Chapter 10: The Continuous Calibration System. Living every day as your last isn't a one-time decision. It's a continuous recalibration of your awareness system. Think of it like updating your phone's operating system. Regular maintenance keeps everything running optimally. Your consciousness needs similar updates. Every evening, perform a temporal audit. What moments today felt fully alive? What activities passed an unconscious routine? What conversations created genuine connection? This isn't self-judgment, it's data collection. You're optimizing your life experience through iterative improvement. The goal isn't perfection, it's presence. Not constant intensity, but conscious choice. You're developing what I call existential fitness, the ability to access profound aliveness whenever you choose. The paradox is beautiful. By remembering death, you discover life. By accepting impermanence, you find what's truly permanent. By embracing urgency, you eliminate panic. You now have the blueprint, the neuroscience, the philosophy, the practical techniques. But knowledge without application is just entertainment. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up, remember, this day will never happen again. These exact circumstances, this particular version of yourself, this specific moment in human history, all unrepeatable. You don't need to wait for a terminal diagnosis to start living fully. You don't need permission to make every moment meaningful. You already have the most advanced consciousness in the known universe. Use it wisely, live it fully, make it count. Because whether you have 1 day left or 50,000, the secret remains the same. The only moment you truly have is this one.